hear me?
Dengar, Pak.
Okay, thank you. So let's start. Before we start the bioinformatics course, is there any issue regarding your midterm exam?
Ini sih lebih ke ini apa maksudnya kemarin agak ada ya maksudnya workflow-nya ada beberapa lah yang script-nya masih belum jalan, nanti mau coba masih debugging juga, Pak.
Okay, so you're still working on that, right?
Iya, Pak.
So any other difficulties from others? Any other issues or challenges? Make sure you write your technical paper using LaTeX because we use it for paper publication, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so today we will continue our learning regarding the pipeline, but I will start to introduce Nextflow. Sinta and Jacqueline will continue the snake make, but in parallel, we will learn about Nextflow. So Nextflow is quite famous nowadays, especially in Spain and in Europe. Nextflow built a very big community to campaign regarding the FAIR principle in genomic, functional genomic pipeline. They want the pipeline to be findable, accessible. Okay, some people call it FAIR principle. Okay. So Nextflow is actually a library, very easy to use, and it's very active. If you see in YouTube, their community is very active. Every year they have a conference. Okay. Nextflow Bioinformatics. So they have, this is their playlist. Every year they change this playlist. Yeah. Wait. I think. So this is their official YouTube channel. You should subscribe to this channel, okay? Because every year they have a new content, new conference, and they share each other between bioinformatics, and very active compared to SnakeMake, compared to other pipeline framework, okay? So we will spend more time on this. This is comparable to SnakeMake, but even better because their community is active. And if you see papers published using Nextflow, I think it's growing very fast. If you see in bio or bioarchive, there's a lot of paper regarding pipeline reproducing using the Nextflow. Okay. So let's start learning Nextflow. The website is at the nextflow.io. Can you open it? So it's a workflow system, just like SnakeMake. In the community, there's so many workflow framework, but Nextflow is very specific for scalable and portable and reproducible workflow, okay? Especially on scientific workflow. Not only in genomics, some people use it for other scientific workflow like physics or operational research or other things, okay? So Nextflow community is very active, highly active, regular meeting, event, podcast, YouTube, and they introduce FAIR principle to make sure that all people who are doing genomic bring the FAIR principle, okay? So Nextflow is actually very easy to use. It's not like SnakeMake because so many Python library dependency, also some dependency to Mamba or Corda. Nextflow is just like Java application, so quite easy to install and to run. I hope during this session you can install in your machine, or you can use GitHub Codespace or Gitbot for installation. Okay, so Nextflow introduce, like other workflow, introduce what's so-called process and channel. Okay, so it's like a script, but implementing process and channel. Process is independently executed task or code, yeah, and the only way to communicate is between process is through channel in Nextflow. So think of process as a task and channel as a communication bridge, or and to communicate between process. Take a look on this. If you are not familiar with the language, yeah, it's quite different with Python. This language is called Groovy, yeah. It's not hard to learn language, so don't worry if you learn Python and then you want to use Groovy. Groovy and Python is the same human-like language, yeah. So let's see here, script parameters. So params is the object is prepared by the Nextflow runtime. And then you say query and DB, and then you define process by making a function, yeah. So what is this? It's a BLAST function. Input is query and DB. Output is the text file, okay? And then this is the BLAST instruction that they use it. It's like a command line. BLAST P is calling program called BLAST P minus DB, and DB is like the parameter, and cat is a Unix command line, okay? So in this code, there is two process, BLAST search, and then extract top hits, okay? And all of this process will be defined by this workflow, will be used by this workflow. So you have to create workflow function, and then def the channel, you create the channel, okay? And then BLAST search, and then extract topic process, okay? So inside this workflow, it will utilize these two tasks or process, okay? So in this example, you can sense how to write workflow in Nextflow, okay? So when they execute the workflow, here you can see Unix command line, but you can call any code actually, and you can execute any abstraction like Python. You can run Open Grid Engine, Unified Grid Engine, yeah, because inside the process is just command or script. What you execute in that command or script is many things in operating system you can execute, yeah. So if you install Open Grid, you can execute inside the process the command line to run the Open Grid. So it's very flexible design. So if you have Flux framework or other framework listed here, you can just simply execute using your Nextflow. This make it very flexible, and developer like it, bioinformatician like it, and the scripting language is Groovy. It's kind of Java style scripting. So we can say Groovy is a Python of Java. Yeah. So Python like script for Java. So the name is Groovy. Yeah. It's not hard to learn. During this, when you learn Nextflow, you will get the Groovy introduction. If you need some tutorial on Groovy, you can go to the Groovy programming language Wikipedia, and then you can take a look here. Usually programming language has its own website like Groovy Lang. And inside this website, you can learn some features of the language. You don't have to understand everything in Groovy, yeah? What you need to understand is just how to define function, how to make a loop, how to make a if-then else selection, or basic language features, okay? Maybe you have to spend one day to just read the documentation, try the code, yeah? Or if you want to install Groovy in your laptop, you can do, yeah? Just spend time with Groovy, so you will be familiar to read pipeline written in Groovy for Nextflow. Okay, that's the overview. Okay, so now let's move to installation. So you can try in your own Git pod or your GitHub code space. So because it's a Java application, yeah, so you need to have a Java runtime and JDK or SDK in your machine. If you use Gitpod or GitHub code space, yeah, usually you have to check whether they have a Java or not. If they have Java, when you say Java version, it will give you the, if you give you the information. So let me try my machine, okay? So if I say Java minus version, okay, I'm asking the operating system, is there any Java installed? Or Java 17.081, okay? I already installed it. I forget when, but Java is already installed in my machine, yeah? So if you don't have Java installed, then you have to install, yeah? Start using this SDK man in Unix or in Linux. And then once you install the SDK man, you can install the SDK Java, install Java 17, blah, blah, blah. Okay, in my case, I already have Java, so I don't have to install. And then after you install Java, you just install Nextflow using this command. Yeah, you can copy this command and then pass into your terminal if you use Mac. If you use GitHub code space or if you use Gitpod, you can just pass this into the command prompt. Make sure you know the location when you pass it because it will download the Nextflow executable. Okay. So after you download, then you make Nextflow executable using this command, and you move the file, executable file, into your path. Why you have to move this? Because you don't want to depend on specific folder. So anywhere in your machine, if you call Nextflow, yeah, you will get it. Let's say Nextflow minus version. Oops, Nextflow dot minus version. Okay, this is in my root directory. But if I move to my Nextflow folder, I can also call Nextflow minus v. Okay, so everywhere I can call Nextflow. Once you install, if you want to update Nextflow, you can just say Nextflow self update. Let's say Nextflow is updating the version, yeah. You need to download, but this one in my machine is the latest version. Okay, so after you install Nextflow, you can check Nextflow info. So this command will give you information what version of Nextflow you have, when you create it. Okay, what is the system of your operating system, and what is the runtime of Groovy and OpenGTK. So everything you need to know about the runtime is already here. And everything else is just Nextflow command, okay? So Nextflow is a Java program. So Nextflow minus H is help file. Let me show. So there is an option, means that after you type Nextflow, you can -C to C configuration file, -D, -H, if you want to exit, -key, yeah. So if you want to see the version, -v, yeah. So there's some command, you don't have to memorize this all command, like a Nextflow clean, Nextflow clone, Nextflow config, Nextflow console, blah, blah, blah. If you forget, then just run again nextflow.help, yeah, to see all of the available command. Okay, so I hope you don't have problem like in SnakeMake for installation, because it's very easy to install. But the tricky part here during the installation is you need to have Java, the right version, which is 17 up. And you need to have, the Nextflow executable download. Later, if you want to update, you just say Nextflow update, self-update. Okay. So the first command in Nextflow is Nextflow run, yeah. And Nextflow team provide you some hello world. The script is already there in the Nextflow, so you can say just say Nextflow hello, yeah. Nextflow run hello. It will download the code from GitHub, Nextflow IO/hello, and then say hello word in many languages like ciao word, hello, bonjour, hola, etc. Okay. So Nextflow first command that you understand today is Nextflow run, and then the name of the workflow. Okay. The name of the workflow is hello. But what about if you want to make your hello world script by yourself? Okay. So let's go to this first script. Yeah. Let's run this first script. So you need to have your Visual Studio Code installed. Okay. So let's write a file called tutorial.nf. Okay. So this is the Nextflow tutorial. So let's understand this code. So I said I want to make a parameter called string. Just pass here. Params, okay? Because Nextflow is running on Java and Groovy, means that these params, they already have object of this, but you attributed the object that you have a string called here hello world. And then you define two process. I just copy this process. So the first process is split letters, yeah? So the input, no input, just output. Okay, if you call this process, it will output, okay, splitted text, splitted characters. If you give the letters and then it will split, okay? And then the second process, the input is X. You need to define the path X as an input of this process. And the output is standard output, std out, yeah, std out. So it will cat is a Unix command. It will cat to the screen some output, yeah. So this workflow is very simple workflow. If you give some input, then it will split, okay. So to define the workflow, just say make a workflow, okay. Splitters, this is the name of this first process, and then flatten the output, and then convert, this is the second process, and then view, okay. Just save this one, and then goes to your command line to see, okay, I have tutorial.nf, and I just say Nextflow run tutorial.nf. Okay, so it will launch this tutorial. There is two processes, splitters and convert output. How we define these two processes work together, we create a workflow, okay? And you see this workflow, splitter, and this is, this character is like a Unix command to say the output will go to flatten. Flatten is predefined workflow inside Nextflow, yeah? And then convert to uppercase, and then view, okay? So I never wrote flatten. I never wrote workflow called flatten and view, but it must be provided by the Nextflow, yeah? So this is the output of this flow, okay? So what is this flow? Given a parameter called hello world, please split the word and make it uppercase. Okay, this is the output. But why Nextflow is quite special to do these very simple things, because you can do it in any language. But why, let's say I have two processes, convert to upper and then splitter, right? So let's say I modify one task, okay? I just copy paste here. I modify this one. I put here, okay? It's quite different with my first one because my first one is cat. Cat is a unique zero from beginning. The good thing in Nextflow, if I run this again, I can expect that you don't have to run the task number one split letters because nothing changes there. So Nextflow is catching up all of the process, yeah. So if you see the Nextflow code here, this is all of the folder. It catches all of the process inside the Nextflow. So if you run it again like this, you can see, yeah, it doesn't change if it's already cached, yeah. So it will reuse the cache, yeah, but it will reuse the splitter, but this one is changed, yeah. So it will run the new one, yeah. Okay, but if I say this resume, yeah, I don't want to change. I don't want to rerun. It will rerun the original, the previous workflow. Okay, but remember, you have to use minus resume. Means that I change some code, but if you have the case of the running task or running process before, please use it. That's why you say here case, and this is case. Okay, if you're done with this, you can change, go again to this one. So if I say parameters in Nextflow, so here, this is params.str, hello world, means that in this code, I define this one. But what about I want to input from the command line? So I just run this one. So what is this? Okay, Nextflow run tutorial NF. So because I say params.str, I can use --str and define and modify the str parameters. Okay. Okay, in Visual Studio, the good thing in Visual Studio, you will also have terminal here. Okay, so make sure you test your Nextflow is available. Okay, and then you can run that again here. Okay, every Nextflow execution, it will take the log file here. Yeah, you can see the log file of Nextflow, what it does. Okay, so if you say, I just say test assume, it will catch, look on the catch, run again the workflow, but because there is no changes in the code, it will take the output from the case. Okay. Okay, that's all for this your first script. Okay, so it's not hard. And next, you have to read the documentation for script. Yeah. So it uses Groovy. Maybe I will introduce you Groovy. It's a very powerful programming language. When I was in Samsung, we used Groovy for IoT because the IoT engine that we built is using Java, and Groovy is like scripting language for Java. Yeah, so you don't have to compile. If I say scripting language, you don't have to compile. Java code, you need to compile, make it binary, and then execute. But Groovy is like scripting language. Yeah. So Nextflow script is extension of Groovy programming language, and you need to have a Groovy basic. Yeah. So not too many things you have to understand in Groovy. First, you need to just learn how to print something, yeah? So let's say here in your Nextflow code, okay? If you say here, print line, save it, and then you run it again. So because I say print line, print a line, yeah? And then I say hello world here, so it print here, hello world, okay? So in Groovy, if you want to print something, you just print line, okay? But what about if you want to print date or print variables, yeah? Like say you say x equal to 1 and then you want to print x, or x equal to new Java util date. The good thing in Groovy, you can call Java util, yeah? So because it's a Java base, so if I say here, x equal to, let's say I say date equal to, and then I say date now, okay? And then I save, and then I run again. I expect it will not rerun the process, but it will give me a date, okay? That today is Saturday, May 4th at this time, okay? So Groovy can call Java util, and Java util is a very huge library. You can just use ChatGPT, anything you want to do with Java util, yeah? And you can print. What about if you want to make a list? You can just make a list like this, okay? And then you can print list at the index 0, okay? You can print the list size. You can make a maps like data structure. If you need a data structure, you can make a map. Map is like a dictionary, okay? Sometimes people say hash table or key value. It's a data structure that mapping a key to a value, okay? Like bread is the key, value is 100 feet, and like this, okay? So you can make data structure maps in Groovy and other data structure, okay? You can print, you can make assignment, you can make conditional execution, okay? You can define string, you can operate string like in Java, okay? So you can perform regular expression. Please make sure that you spend time on these features that they already big, because some of these features you will need when you write a workflow in Groovy language, yeah? If this is not enough, then you have to go to Groovy programming language website, Groovy Lang. Usually, language website provide you learn, yeah, or sometimes it provides you books for free, yeah. So if you want to be expert in Nextflow, you have to make sure that you don't have problem with Groovy. And learning Groovy, the fastest way is using ChatGPT. Take a book, yeah, and then look on the table of content, read the chapter, and make sure you can reproduce the code using your beloved ChatGPT. Okay, so next. Okay, already introduced you this script. I hope you spend time. 1 week is enough to learn about this language called Groovy. Yeah, don't worry. Learning new language is fun. Like if you visit new countries and then you learn some few words and you start talking to them, the people there, you will love it. Yeah. Imagine the process is like that. Just talk. If there is a mistake, let's say you write the code println and then you miss this one and then you run it or you save it, of course it will give you some message error. Okay. Just like if you go to other country and you mention some word and people say, oh, that's wrong. This is not the way we mention that word. Okay. So compiler is knowing better than you. will go unknown method invocation. What do you mean? Okay, you can just say and then save it again. Okay, and you can learn. Okay, let's back again to this Groovy tutorial. The next is you have to understand the abstraction, the concept inside Nextflow. The first concept is introduced in this documentation is process. What is process? Process is a basic processing or primitive, yeah, to execute. Okay, so we wrote the process. If you want to have a process, let's say hello world. Okay, how can I modify my code? So I go here, I make a process, say hello Nextflow. I like to use it to learn it. Okay, let's say like this, just okay. And how you define later on here, of course you have to put here, right? So before here, split text, I just want to say hello. Okay, I put here, say hello. Don't forget this notation. This is unique style to make sure that after this, do this, yeah? And save again, and then you can run again the workflow. Okay, you may ask question, why is like is like taking some time for work when you call it this program? Because it's a Java, yeah. Java needs some memory management activation for the runtime, so it takes some time there. Okay. But why nothing here in say hello? It's just echo, yeah. So it's just echo. Put it in file. If you check in file, usually somewhere in the folder it will take the file. Okay, because this is just like echo command in command line, just like you type this one into this command line. Okay. Okay, you will see inside the file. Okay, there is a file here. Yeah, hello world. Okay, this is the meaning of this one. Write hello world in the file. Okay, so what is the template or the definition of the workflow? First is a process and the name of the process. You can give some directives, yeah, some preparation and directive, and then you have to define input. If there is no input, you just skip this input. If only output, you can define input and process output, and when, and you put the conditional here, and then the script, okay, script to be executed. This is the example. And the block script here is whatever you can do in the bash script in here in command line. Okay, let's say if you have blast p, yeah, this is a program called blast p, or cat. Cat is a command line in Unix, in Linux, and blast db. Okay, so everything that you can write here, it can define as a script. Okay, so next question maybe you have, what about if I want to run a Python code? Okay, if you run a Python code, of course, there is, let's say Python and the file name .py, okay? You can just call it. But of course, to run Python code from Nextflow, you have to know the term, yeah? Just how to run. What about if you use ChatGPT? Maybe the data set is already there. Okay. Let me check if it can understand the Nextflow, yeah? I never do this prompt, but if is it error or successful, yeah, give the applause to ChatGPT, not to me. So write a Nextflow process to call Python script that implement hello world. Okay. Okay. So first you have to make this Python file. Okay. Hello.py. Let me try to make it here. Yeah. Hello.py. So because it's a Python code, then I just copy this code. Okay. So it's a Python code to say hello world. And then in this one, I say process say hello. Okay. This is the script to execute. Yeah. So during this script, say I just copy this one. There's no input here, just output file. So let's go to the tutorial, and then in this say hello, I delete the first one. Okay. It will output a file called output.txt and running the script. But you see here, the output of this Python hello.py is, and then this notation say, put it in this file. Okay. So now I run again. I changed hello world, so hello world must not be caged. Okay, there is a process called splitter. I don't need this one. I just delete this one first, yeah? Okay. I just want to make a hello world. Only one process. I don't need splitter. I don't need convert. I don't need flatten. Okay. Maybe I don't need this params. Okay, let's save it. Take some time to run the. Okay, there's an error. Executing say hello world customer terminated blah 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 blah. Command error can open file, no such file. Okay, why is not getting this file? Okay, it must be about the location of the file is not recognized by. Okay, so because maybe the Nextflow file is in different location, it doesn't take this. Okay. So when I run this python.hello, python.hello.py, it doesn't get this one, yeah? But I can run it here. So I assume the problem is it cannot, the Nextflow executable cannot find the file called hello because the location is different. Okay, needs some troubleshooting on that, but it's not a big problem. Maybe you can prompt it again here. Okay, so let's say I say just give this hello process. Okay. This one. Try in ChatGPT. Yeah, Nextflow cannot locate. Yeah? So maybe I have to change like this. maybe. Okay. Where's the file? Tutorial file. Okay, I have to change this one. Python, how to, hello. Uh, okay, wait. I need to find the path of my if Unix command to see the current directory. Okay, pwd. I never memorized this one. Okay, so I can take this one. And then I go back here again, and then I got here. Oof. This save. Try again. Still, unknown method invocation trim Unix part 5, tutorial at F line 18. Okay, if you have, which one is problem here? Maybe I forget give the one. Line 19. Unexpected input, say hello. Okay. Maybe I forget to give this. Maybe just try. It's the way to learn. Oh, this one. Huh? Still problem. Okay, you can try yourself. It takes so long time to do that. Or maybe we can define like this. Last try. Yeah. Just say hello. So in reality, later on, oh, this is correct. So we don't usually write workflow from beginning, but we improve existing workflow. Okay. So after you learn about this process, please try this tutorial. We will continue next week. Yeah. Follow this tutorial. But later, there's a website called NFCore. Let me share with you. Okay. So NFCore is the repository of the whole community work pipelines. You can see here, there are 60 workflow release and under development 34, archived is 11. So it's very active, right? Like small RNA sequencing analysis pipeline, a pipeline to simulate. Okay, we will try some of them, yeah, and maybe in your last final semester, you need to pick one for you to reproduce in bioinformatics. So during the class, we will learn this tutorial. Okay, we will continue to learn together this tutorial until it's complete. And Nextflow have a website for learning. Every year they modify. This is the last one in year 2023. We will follow these two, yeah, together. So if you do later your pipeline with Nextflow, you will have no problem. Okay. For today, as an introduction, I hope you can learn script and process. And next week we learn channel, operator, workflow, modules, and etc. And we will reproduce this 2023 tutorial together. Okay. So that's it for today. Please start to install, make your Hello World like what I did before, and make sure you read documentation. In any framework, if you don't read documentation, you will spend too much time on problem solving. Yeah, if you have problem because you don't really understand how it works. So we will make sure that we read the documentation, get the tutorial, and able to reproduce NF Core. Okay, NF Core is very active. So if you work with Nano4 or Illumina, next generation sequencing, there's so many pipeline that you can reuse here, including the sample data that you can use. So hopefully we can reproduce some of them. Okay, that's all from me for today. Is there any question?
No, sir.
Okay, good. So please try to install and get your first Hello World in Nextflow. You can install in your machine, but I don't recommend because my machine is quite good. This is how many? 32 gigabytes. You need for genomic, I believe you need to have run this in the GitHub code space. Okay, you can use GitHub code space. Okay, please try this one, or you can run in Gitpod. Okay, gitpod.io. It's the same. It's the same environment. It's just browser based. Yeah, so you can try Gitpod and GitHub code space. You can choose one of them for your Nextflow exploration. The good thing here, you can pay as you go if you need to run a long pipeline for your master degree research, and then you can just pay here without buying expensive PC or server. Okay, that's all. So please continue your midterm exam and see you next week. Learn again the Nextflow, and if Sinta and Jacqueline and Fadin have a snake make running, they can also show the pipeline together with the Nextflow. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Yeah, bye.